Bravo with Dalton Canona.
He rose to the rank of three-star general, married to the daughter of the country's president. There was talk then of a future presidency. But then came the riots of May 1998 and the downfall of his father-in-law Suharto. And Prabowo Subianto's world came crashing down as well. Now, returned from self-imposed exile, he believes he's the best person to run the country. But can he erase the images that connect him to dark days in Indonesia's history? Hello, I'm Dalton Tanarangkap, and we are in the South Jakarta residence of presidential candidate Prabowo Subianto. Sir, thank you very much for your time and allowing us into your residence. First, let's get a quick chronology of where you went after 1998 and how you got back to Indonesia. You were essentially, I guess for lack of a better word, fired by your superior, General Wiranto, who's now also running for president, as you know. Why did you leave Indonesia at that time, and where did you go?
Actually, I went to Jordan. I was on very good terms with, at that time he was still Prince Abdullah, and now he's the King of Jordan, King Abdullah II.
Why did you feel you had to leave?
I felt actually that I needed space and needed some sabbatical. I considered sabbatical, and I thought that I would be a fall guy for many things, accusations, because it was some sort of succession struggle after Suharto fell from power, and in all these events, in history, succession struggles means that those who are perceived as contenders usually must be eliminated, either physically or character-wise.
So there was real fear on your part of physical safety?
I was a soldier, and fear is everyday part of life, but as a former soldier, I knew the risks were there, and
so it was time to leave and take a break.
Yes, I mean, in military history, when you see the odds are stacked heavily against you, it's wiser a bit to withdraw from the scene and
that's what you did.
Observe what was happening.
And I read that you were forced to leave Jordan, is that correct? And then you went to Germany and Thailand. What happened?
No, I was not forced to leave. No.
But you moved?
No. In fact, I spent only something like 13, 14 months there. Then I returned to Indonesia, actually.
Okay.
Yes.
No stops in Germany and Thailand, or just?
No, just visits, and
okay. Now, you said you came home 2 years later, and actually, in the last election, you did make a try. I don't know how long, or a serious try for the presidency with the Golkar Party.
I was in the Golkar Party, and I took part in their convention, but then I didn't make it. I went to the final round, the last 5, but I didn't fare well there at that time.
So of course, as we know, Wiranto won the nomination for Golkar, yes. But then you supported your former military classmate, Susilo Bambang Yudhoyono, for the presidency, correct?
Yes.
When did your support for him end, and why?
Well, basically around 1.5 years ago, actually, because after the election of 2004, I was elected as chairman of the Indonesian Farmers Association, our farmers union, basically, and of course I had to represent the interests of Indonesian farmers, and I lobbied very hard on their behalf, for their interests, and I tried to get access to President Susilo Bambang Yudhoyono. I did get some access. But then I don't know what happened. There was some sort of cut off in the access. I couldn't get through our recommendations, and then I felt that his government was not addressing the real issues of our economy, and I think that's when the decision was made. Many of my supporters, many of my constituents, especially the Indonesian farmers, the Indonesian Fishermen Association, and I mean they asked, they came to the conclusion that if we are not involved directly in the decision-making process of a country, then we'll always be marginalized. And the Indonesian farmers actually have always gotten a raw deal throughout our history, you know.
And that's why agriculture is a big part of your platform. But
exactly.
You were friends, actually, and colleagues with
Yes,
SPY.
yes.
Why do you think he cut off access? Was he just, I mean, was he purposely doing that, do you think?
I don't know. I was puzzled. Maybe things like this happen in you know, in the top position. What you call this? There would be an inner circle or some sort of bubble around. I think it happens.
But as you said, you represented a lot of people, so it wasn't.
I was puzzled also.
Yeah.
Coming up, why Prabowo says he should be president, and some surprising supporters in his campaign.
Let me ask you this then. Why is now the time for Prabowo Subianto to be president?
I think I have a clear idea of what to do. I know the problems of Indonesia. I think the fact that I left the army at that time, you know, and then I was forced into the real economy, you know. I had to go into business, and I went into the agriculture business. So I know the agriculture business. And then I was asked to represent the Indonesian farmers. So these past 4 years, I got to know very well the real essence of the Indonesian economy and our problem. And I think because of my hands-on experience and my empirical experience, I think I got a better understanding of the real problems of the Indonesian economy.
You feel closer to the people because of this.
Yes, and a more real understanding. You know, I know all the shenanigans of what the business people have been doing, all the scams, all the you have to be in the real economy to know all these ways. And many of our professors, our ministers, our top leaders, you know, they don't know this because they have not experienced this. This is what I'm telling. It's not that the people in government now are bad people or incompetent. It's not that. It's that, in fact, they are good people who don't know how the real world operates.
So maybe
and I think the American experience is like that, right? You have people like, what's this guy's name? Madoff, right?
The financier
who ran away with, what, $50 billion?
Yep.
All those years. You know? How could he fool so many institutions, you know, so long? You know, this is what I'm telling about. Indonesia, if it can happen in the States, it's been happening in Indonesia for all these years.
So maybe if you stayed in the military, you wouldn't have this experience, right?
I would know this.
Okay.
I would know this.
So then, your party, Gerindra, was created to help get you elected, basically, if you continued your role in politics. Now, you've attracted a significant variety of supporters. Yeni Wahid, daughter of former President Abdurrahman Wahid, supports you. I just read Halida Hatta, daughter of Indonesia's co-founding father, Muhammad Hatta, is with you. And you know, actually more than interesting, several kidnapped victims who you've admitted some involvement in their cases are now helping your campaign. Now, we'll talk more about that shortly. What is the basic message of Gerindra, and are these people attracted to that message or to the man?
I think maybe both. But I think our message is a real message. We actually advocate, you know, a more equitable economic strategy and economic policy. What we are saying is actually what many American leaders, European leaders have found out, that this unregulated free market, you know, laissez-faire capitalist system brings many times what do you call it, suffering to the little people. I think this is what your President Obama has discovered and is trying to carry out. You know, a U-turn or a redirection of government policies towards so-called free market or laissez-faire capitalism. So this is what our argument is. Our argument is that throughout our 63 years of independence, now it's coming on to the 64th year of independence, there's no real, first, there is no real accumulation of national wealth. That's what we found out. I have the figures, I have the statistics, I have all the, the data to prove this. Number two, we've been trapped into a low growth trap, and the quality of the growth is also very, very bad. The disparity between the rich and the poor is amazing. So what we are saying is, this present system has not brought wealth to the Indonesian people. It's only brought wealth to a few Indonesians. Perhaps if you really calculate, maybe there are only 300 families in Indonesia who really enjoy real wealth. The others are just on the margin, eking out an existence, the vast majority of our people.
So you want to lift everyone higher.
What I'm saying is this is very dangerous. I always quote John F. Kennedy. John F. Kennedy, in his inaugural address, he said, if a free society cannot help the many who are poor, it cannot save the few who are rich. I'm just saying, because my family, I think, is part of the 300 families on top of the pyramid in Indonesia.
And we'll get to that.
Right?
Okay.
I mean, look, I don't need to go into this politics. I can just go, my hobby is riding horses and polo. I can just go ride horses somewhere in Argentina or something, But what I'm saying is, as a patriot, we see that this cannot be sustainable. That you cannot have a few who are at the top enjoying, vast wealth, and the majority of people still difficult to carry out the, basic existence.
Back to the question was, all these people are being attracted to this message.
Yes.
Now, many people have said these kind of messages before. We have to help the poor, we have to do, but maybe you're being modest, but they must be attracted to the man saying these things.
Well, I think so. I hope so. But I don't want to overrate myself. I think that they see, number one is with our party, there's some sort of idealism in our party. There's some sort of idealism. I mean, many of these people come from very different backgrounds, and I think they see that we are some sort of a big tent that we accommodate, and we are also, we believe in, pluralism. How do I pronounce it? My English is getting rusty.
You said it right. Pluralism.
Pluralism.
Yeah, that's a hard word to say.
Sorry, yes. Pluralism. I just came from so many hours of campaigning.
No, I know, so, it's a tough trail.
And we respect all races, all religions, all ethnic groups. We have hundreds of ethnic groups in Indonesia, and I think people see that we are a big tent, that they can come in and they like our message, they like our platform, they like our inclusiveness,
And that's why you're attracting so many people. I got one more question before we take a break. Would you at all consider running as somebody's vice president if the top spot looked impossible for you at this time?
Number one, I don't think the top spot looks impossible. Number two, I'm bringing a program of change. That's my mandate from my party and my constituents. I'm not looking for a job. I want to make this clear. I'm very, very happy with the quality of life I'm having now. I'm not looking for a job. If I cannot carry out what I have advocated in front of many millions of Indonesians, then what's the use of me accepting a job,
Okay, let's take a break now. When we continue confronting the issues that define him, what was the general's role in the May '98 riots, and was he ready to topple the new Habibie government? That's next.